That was my best rhyme ever. Come on, stop being slow. There we are. Should have better lighting and better everything and Papa John's and better camera, better microphone. Karen's here. Go Karen, but stay there. And food is coming. I can eat on stream and make all the plebes mad. Yeah, the plebes back in, steerage.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Let's see. I'm a good man. Yeah, hey. Software engineer, cellist, and bassist. Interesting.
Okay, I'm going to check the tournament.
Mm-hmm. We're having a tournament. The month long, it started today. Game 75. Archer beat a 1900 player that he's beaten before. So that was good. And Spencer won against like a 1600-ish kind of player. Yeah, I think he's 1600 something. There's 22 players playing tonight. People enter throughout the month, so we'll probably hit over 30. Yay! Thanks for the sub. So I'll tell you a long, funny story to kill time. I should be on Chess TV, but technically I'm on 9 to 11. And several days ago I said 9:30 to 11 because I'm flying back, and they said fine. Then when they did the schedule today that I saw, it said 9 to 11. So then I said, hey, I'm 9:30, remember? And they're like, oh yeah. So hopefully at 9:30 I'll be on. Or maybe I'm on now, but probably not. Anyway, hopefully I'll be on a little bit because you get more viewers. More ad money. All right. So, okay. So I had a limo service pick me up at the airport in Philadelphia. And when it was me and Karen and the kids, it all worked fine. They picked us up, took us to the hotel. They picked us up at the hotel, took us to the airport when we left. So I hired them again. And a week after I hired them, Delta said, hey, we're changing your flight. So I had like a 7 o'clock flight. So then I wouldn't be able to stream. And they made me a 5:30 flight, which cuts it close. Although I actually had some friends from the chess club here, a family, they were on my flight back. Okay, so I've emailed this company before when we went to Philadelphia last month for the World Open, and they answered like that, son. I emailed, this is like 2 weeks ago. I emailed them and I said, hey, Delta changed my flight. So instead of picking me up at the hotel at this time, it'll be this time. No response. Then I emailed again. No response. Then I emailed again and I said, hey, I need to know that you're picking me up at the right time. I can't miss my flight. No response. Fourth email, I said, I'm going to have to cancel this if you don't get back to me that you can pick me up at the right time. No response. So I emailed several emails saying I'm canceling these 2 trips, the one from the airport to and back. About a minute later, I get a response. And they're like, okay, fine, canceled. That's the one they responded to, was I'm canceling. Okay. So I figured they might still come pick me up and, they would try to because they're dumb. I get to the airport in Philly, nothing, and I get a lift. Now, I was going to leave at 4 o'clock originally from the hotel to the airport today, but they changed my flight. So I left at 3 o'clock. I got a lift. The lift came at 3. I got to the airport at 3:40. I'm at the ticket counter checking in. I get a phone call. Hi, I'm your driver. I'm here. And I'm like, I didn't know what he was talking about. I'm like, what? Oh, you're the guy that I canceled. He says, what? I said, yeah, I canceled you guys like weeks ago and you sent me a confirmation. He's like, huh? And then he's like, all right. And here's the funny part. All those emails were ignored and he was picking me up at the later time that I originally scheduled it for, so I'd missed my flight. I sent 4 emails saying change my flight, change the pickup to 3 o'clock, and they didn't respond to any of them. Then when I emailed saying I'm canceling, I'm like, okay. What? Anyway, good service. Yeah, Lyft was cheaper. It still wasn't cheap, but yeah. I don't know, someplace in Limo in Philly or something. I don't know. They're all like that. Every limo place sucks. Jay Groges 2801 subscribed. The one that didn't suck was the one in Chicago. Yeah, we used them several times and they did not suck. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I have to admit. Will you be at Free Play tomorrow? Where else am I going? I'm always at Free Play. I'm always doing something. Plus, I'm not. Okay, E. Phelps subscribed at Tier 1. Thank you. Somebody give Yabba Dabba Do a sub. Jay Groges subscribed. Thank you. Also Tier 1. I don't see the third thing that happened, but a third thing must have happened because I have a train. I don't know why I don't see it. Why? Where is it? I see 2 people subbing. Yeah, come on in. It's here now? It said your food will be there in half an hour, and that was 13 minutes ago. Yeah, they must have knew you were leaving at 9:30, so they, if you see Karen, tell her the food's here because some of it's hers too. Thank you, John. All right. Oh yeah, so then on my way back in the car, I haven't eaten since like 2 o'clock. So I'm like, gotta order food. So I'm in the car driving here, and I'm like ordering food. Closed, everything closed. It's like 8:40. Closed. Then it turned out an Indian restaurant that I forgot about, that's my new favorite, they were open. They're very far from here, but they deliver. So I'm like, all right. Man, that was early.
Lights are going crazy.
Who's going crazy?
Well, the light, you got autofocus on, I guess.
Oh, I thought you meant like the lights in the tournament room were.
Because when you wave your
Go
arms
Hype Train.
around,
I got to figure out who donated and I missed it.
go crazy.
Okay, 100 bits, trying to learn. NJ Crispy. I was just in NJ. Gifted a sub. It's a kingpin. Bishop Takes gave 300 centidues. Grandmaster Gus gifted a sub to Yabba Dabba Dabba Do. And JAL3114 resubscribed. That's the one that I missed.
Hey,
Hello.
you know how you said that you unbanned everybody?
That's correct.
Well, you didn't unban everybody because I had to unban a couple of people.
But I went to a list of banned people on Twitch and I unbanned all of them. So I did all I could do.
Oh, that's weird.
So it must have missed, why are you taking my food away? What did I ever do to you? Trying not to learn? Oh yeah, loud is funny. Then they complain. And then I ban them. And then I unban them.
Do you think this is mine right here?
It says hot. Yes, that's definitely yours. Also, they didn't bring any accoutrement. So let's see, do we have anything here? Damn.
I can do it in a second.
Yeah, I need, I guess just a spoon, but a fork and a spoon's better. Yeah. And when my stream is over, can you bring me a fork? Put a fork in and I'm done. Yay, $9.99. Thanks, Pinky Jim. And so forth. Can you ban and unban me? We can ban you. Yeah, we wiped the slate clean. Thanks, Sir Diva D. $9.99. It was funny. There was a tweet from Ice-T today that said the person who is your biggest fan, you don't know them. And the person who's your biggest hater, you do know them. Okay, and then people were commenting on his thing. And then I wrote, that's something coming from the MC of the Play I Hate His Ball. He was the MC. So I was like, well, he must know. Hate. Yeah. Usually I don't comment on Ice-T's tweets, but I had to. It's funny. How do you pick the right move from the candidate moves? I do not. So, yeah, I mean, I analyzed my games with different engines and strong engines and for a long time. And I've never played people who played so much better than their rating. And the last guy was insane. The last guy played 97.9. I played 97.1. He was winning, but I drew. And he's 2030. And it was a very complicated game. We're going to look at it soon. In round 5, I played an IM, and almost every move he made was perfect. He could have won easier when he was winning, but he was always winning. So I mean, I had no chance. You see my helmet, $9.99. I made a couple mistakes in the opening with white, and I was like worse or lost, and then I just lost. I mean, I was lost between moves 10 and me resigning. And I mean, he did nothing wrong ever. And it was a complicated game. It was opposite side castling and sacking and crazy. So yeah, and then this is the funny thing that I was telling everybody. Thank you. That's the, you know who I am. Yeah, I'd move that if you want to keep it because it's going to get Indian all over it. Then maybe it'll smell good. Okay, so the one guy I played who didn't play better than his rating, he made mistakes and I want a pawn, I want another pawn, I want more. I kept winning stuff. He missed all the tactics. I beat him pretty easily. He played like 71 and I played like 97 or something. Every other game, the guy played like a monster. The guy drew Fedorowicz with black, and he beat an IM and drew 3 IMs, and the 3 IMs he drew, he was like winning every game. And then he beat somebody else. I think I was the only person who beat him. And he's paired up all 6 games. He didn't play well against me, but he played great against everybody else. I don't understand why people are playing well. I've been playing chess for a long time. Nobody plays well. By the way, you know who does play well? There's only one answer. Whoever gives the right answer in the chat gets a free sub. Who's the only person who plays well? Also, obviously, it's very subjective, but still, yep. That's correct, Petty Frog. Yeah, Petty Frog is right. Yeah, Duda. A lot of people answer Duda. I mean, you can't play better than Duda's playing this tournament. You can't. He hasn't lost a game. He's beaten really good. He beat Grishuk and he beat Carlsen. Are you kidding me? Are you? I mean, Duda's and his analysis is excellent. Man, Duda's good. So what's funny is for the last 2 or 3 years, maybe more, I couldn't differentiate between Duda and Rapport. What I mean is, I don't know who's better at chess. I don't know who's higher rated. I don't know who's younger or older. I don't know what countries they're from. Their ages are very similar. Their ratings are very similar. But I think it's clear now that Duda's better. But Rapport plays crazy. Rapport's always playing like a nut. So his games are really interesting. And the other GMs love him because they have a good rapport. Purchase successful. Yay. Does that help the hype train when I give some? I guess it doesn't. Frank Foyd subscribed. Good. He's almost related to us, or maybe he is. Casey Zat, 200 centitos. Yeah, the problem with looking at an engine, if you're not a grandmaster, which I don't consider myself a grandmaster anymore, but I mean like, you guys, is you don't understand what's happening in the game because you're just looking at the engine evaluation. You don't know what the players are thinking. You don't know what they're analyzing. You don't know what they think the evaluation is. You don't know how long they took per move. You don't know if they're in time trouble. You just don't know. And so when you're like, oh, the engine says this and the engine says that, that's not what's happening in the game. When Leela loses to Stockfish, that's what's happening in the game. Stockfish is crushing Leela. Very suspicious. The soup is great though. Casey Zach gifted a sub, etc. So here's what's funny. 100 centimeters. What's funny is Fedoseev, if Carlsen had beaten Duda, Fedoseev would play Duda for 3rd place, and the winner would go to the candidates. But then Carlsen won, so Fedoseev's out. You hear about that? So the top 2 go to the candidates in the World Cup, but Carlsen doesn't count because he's already. So if Carlsen beat Duda, then that means Karyakin goes to the candidates because he plays Magnus in the final. Doesn't matter how he does. And the winner of Duda Fedoseev goes to the candidates. Okay, but Carlsen lost. So now it's just Duda and Karyakin, and Fedoseev can't go to the candidates. Man, the truth hurts. And as an extra reward, he has to play Magnus. So, harsh. If you can't beat them, eat them.
I'll practice for 2 years.
What? What's that?
To go to candidates.
Delicious. There's a lot of people complaining on my YouTube video about me eating. And one person I just said, if you don't want to see me eating, then don't watch. I mean, it's like complaining about a TV show that you hate. Like, don't watch it. Watch the Chappelle Show. Nobody hates that. Okay, maybe, what's his name? Who's the guy who pees on people? R. Kelly. Maybe R. Kelly doesn't like the Chappelle Show. Maybe. I mean, Prince and Michael Jackson aren't alive anymore, so they can't hate it. I guess I'm on Chess TV because I have 1,200 viewers instead of 40. That's correct. Duda could get into, Fedoseev could get into the candidates, and I can't. Yeah, 94 Grunfeld, it's 15 years ago. I don't know. Rick James. But Rick James was actually interviewed for the Rick James skit. So that was funny. In the Rick James skit, there's Dave Chappelle and Rick James. Just like when he plays Lil Jon. Sometimes it's him and Lil Jon. Sometimes. No publicity is bad publicity. Why is Radjabov qualified for the candidates? FIDE decided, much to most people's chagrin, I literally don't care, that Radjabov got screwed last time, so they're going to unscrew him. Radjabov refused to play in the candidates because of COVID. And then the event was stopped. And they had it. So FIDE is like, all right, you can play the next candidates. Which to me seems very reasonable, but to the people involved, they've never been so mad. They're like, if he didn't want to die of COVID, too bad. He shouldn't, here's the problem with Radjabov.
I didn't even hear about that.
About what?
The most recent thing,
Oh.
giving him the free.
Oh, yeah, that's for a couple months. Now, one of the reasons people are mad at Radjabov getting in is Radjabov doesn't play chess anymore. He just plays 8-move draws. So he'll play like a 12-round tournament and get 12 draws. So, like, how can that guy play in the candidates? Like, invite somebody who plays chess. Yeah. Good Chappelle reference.
That shouldn't have any bearing on it, what kind of player he is. Either it's fair that he does it or
Right.
not fair.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think he should play.
To me, I don't care. If he plays, that's reasonable. If he doesn't, that's reasonable. I think the people who are mad are the gawking rabble who don't like that he draws every game immediately. And the super GMs, they want to play in the candidates. So they're like, why is he playing? What? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it matters what kind of player he is. Obviously, what kind of person he is,
Yeah. Will Duda win? He could. 50-50. I've never seen Doug play so well, or even well. Yeah. Man, Doug was playing great. Medium plus. How was your cauliflower? Better than ever? Yeah, that place has good Gobi 65.
And
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I'm so concerned with my constituents. Yes, look at that. Isn't that great?
I guess so. Hey, I don't get as excited about the food. I have to.
But I asked you, you said, yeah, I want
No, I
that.
just mean the food's a chore to me.
Oh,
It's like a chore.
eating it's a chore?
Yeah.
You're the one who says taking a shower is tough.
It is.
She hates taking showers because it's a lot of work.
I feel the same way about eating.
An hour of her day is gone.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a shame, and factor in the flossing, and man.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you're like Kramer. There was an episode
Oh, I know about it.
where Kramer spent most of the episode trying to figure out how to shower quicker. He was getting tips, and he was asking people how long they take. He was smelling Elaine. She's like, 10 minutes. He's like, can I smell you? She's like, sniff away. Mm-hmm. And then he's getting advice like from Jerry, like, let gravity do work. So instead of washing everywhere, wash here and then falls, No, that's my bread. Yeah. No, I can't have any. No, you can have it, but now I can't get it.
It was going to get stale.
I know. You want to say hi on the stream? They're missing you.
Maybe in a minute. Your camera's really bothering me.
What's it bothering you? What's wrong?
It keeps doing, I guess it's an autofocus. I'm not really sure. Why don't you bring up the properties for 1 second?
I can't eat naan bread because 95% of the time it has butter, or maybe more than that. So this is it pori or is it the other one? I've already forgotten. This is a vegan bread. That tells you what's vegan. You want me to change the camera? Like do stuff to it?
Yeah, let me bring the lights down.
Okay. Where should I go? Configure video. I got brightness, saturation, sharpness.
None of that.
None of that?
There's
Zoom, focus. Yeah.
Okay, so there's something that's somewhere that says autofocus.
It says low light compensation. No?
I don't care about anything except for the autofocus.
I don't see that.
And it's a checkbox probably.
Yeah, I don't see it. Oh, there's focus. Oh, yeah, autofocus. It says 0. So just unclick that. It says focus. It doesn't say autofocus. Oh, then auto's checked. So it's autofocus by default.
I'm surprised it says 0. Yeah, why don't we just take that off for a minute and see if
Okay,
it stops
apply.
going so crazy.
All right, like Fox News.
Well, I mean, every time you wave your hands, which is frequently,
Wave your hands in the air like you just don't care.
I don't know if the autofocus.
Akuba subscribed.
Yeah, that seems better, I think.
Yeah, I get like 2 cents when Twitch shows you an ad. Maybe less than 2 cents. Get my 2 cents worth in. Delicious. How's that?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, yeah, it's still doing.
I can't get out.
Yeah,
No.
it's still doing it. You can turn it
I'm
back
the man in the box. What do I do?
on. That didn't really fix it.
That did Vishwa nothing? Fixed. Da-da-da, in a box. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. All right, back for something. What did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap. Unity. All right. That's correct.
So I'm gonna go do a couple things and then I'll come back and sit.
She'll come back and sit.
I should get some,
All right. All the games are done? Okay, cool. All right, so this is my last round game, which was played earlier today. Started at 10 a.m. and it finished about 1:40. I don't really know any theory. I've seen games in the line, but I never studied it. I just, I know what to do. And then here I was like, I think you go here, but I'm not sure. The engine likes to take, but all the super GMs play here. I think they're both good. And probably taking with the F pawn is more common, especially at the super GM level. I just thought taking with the D pawn was safer. I think I'm right, but maybe taking with F1's better. I mean, they're this. I mean, they're the same. Yeah, and they're both slightly better for black. So. Okay. I mean, I didn't know what to do, and my opponent was playing quickly because he still knew what he was doing, I guess. I think he slowed down after that. I think so. This has all been played before several times, but I didn't know that. Never play F6. Okay, so it was around here that I wasn't really understanding the position correctly, and I was playing slow. You know, B6 is fine what I played. The reason I didn't play knight D4, which my engine likes better, is I didn't know what to do against this. And it turns out I have two moves that are good. I can just play F5 and defend my knight that way, or I could just take this. And I didn't realize at this point, the more pieces I trade, the better, because he doesn't have any attack. So the engine just says, I can take this, I can take this, I can play F5, and I'm slightly better in all cases. And for some reason after this, I didn't know what to do. So I just played B6 and defended my pawn. And the other idea is, maybe I'll play knight takes C4, and then bishop A6. And if you defend your pawn with B3, I can play F5, and it's dangerous. So he played a move that's never been played before, and the engine says it's good. Rook D1. So I want to take the bishop eventually. The problem is I can never play E5 because knight D5 is just too good. So if I want to do anything, I have to play F5. And I was just worried here about what to do. I think I should play Queen E7. And the reason is when I played A6, that's not a good move. So I wanted to take, and play Queen C7. Because my queen's attacked. But then he plays Knight B5, attacking my queen. So I played A6. It stops Knight B5, and maybe I'll play B5 later. But this is very weakening. And all these pawns are weak. This is a much better pawn chain than this. I'm choking on my own rage here. These are niceties that aren't super important. And when I play somebody with this rating, it doesn't really matter usually, and by usually I mean always, if I'm playing strategically the best or second best, because, they're going to make a lot of mistakes and I win. And that just didn't happen this tournament. Like, I played okay, and my opponent played okay. You're 2,000, stop playing okay. Okay, he played A3, which is the first engine move. So he's going to save his bishop, so I traded. Now, during the game, I thought what I did was worse than Queen E7 afterwards, but it turns out it's not. Queen C7 is fine. And the reason I got upset was when he played Queen H4, it took me like a minute and a half to realize why he played it. I just assumed he was going here, which doesn't do anything. But actually he wants to play Bishop F4. I can't play E5 because I'm giving away the D5 square, and my queen has nowhere to go. Where's my queen going? Can't go here, can't go here. These are the squares it can't go. It can't go to E7 because Bishop D6 wins the exchange. So I can go to these three squares, which are all bad. Especially if I go to F7, rook here attacks my knight. So then I was upset that I allowed this because I could have played Queen E7 last move, and then this doesn't get a tempo. So I actually made the right decision here. After very long thought, I played G5, which allows him to sack a piece, not soundly, but that doesn't mean he won't do it. Yeah, the engine doesn't even look at sacking a piece because it doesn't work. Although I'm afraid it does work and that I've miscalculated, but I gotta trust my calculation. Sorry. Yay, Council of Rooks. Yay, mulligatawny soup. Yeah, when you play poker, your goal is to make as few mistakes as possible and play with people who make a lot of mistakes. Bach subscribed. He said he would be Bach. Why knight e7? What do you mean? No, queen e7, not knight e7. No, I was mad I didn't play queen e7, not knight e7. All right, Council of Rooks, 999. Yeah, 100,000 followers was good. Why not knight e7? I don't know when you mean. You mean here? Knight e7 is, I don't know why you're playing knight e7, but all right. It's not terrible. Raskolnikov subscribed. To prevent bishop f4? I don't see how that prevents bishop f4. I don't understand. What do you mean prevents it? He plays here. What? e5, then you take. What? What are you talking about? What? I play e5 and then I take the bishop? I just make 2 moves in a row? All right, no talking in the chat, just donate, which you're also not very good at. Okay, yeah. Overcomes the downside. No, it doesn't. No, you can't. Yeah, you don't want to take that knight and give him a passed pawn. It's undouble his pawns. You don't want to do that. All right, so I played g5. That's the best move. Yeah, and here I panicked, and I made a... Is this where I made a very bad move? Delicious. I thought it was a potato, but it was a lemon. That was not delicious. But it was okay. No, here I made another good move, h6. Yeah, and here I panicked. One of my original ideas when I played g5 was to play bishop here and kick his queen out. And that's the engine line. And then I was like, oh, he goes here and attacks my pawn, but that's just dumb. And the main reason I didn't go here was I was afraid of the sacrifices because now it's hard to defend h7. So, for example, this would be something I was afraid of. Okay, and in fact, the engine says I resign here. Good reason to be afraid of it. But probably I have an intermezzo. I think it wants me to take with the f pawn. Yeah. Now what happens here? What do I do? Bishop e8. Okay, queen h4. And then this is funny. This, it says black is much better. And with the bishop here, it says black resigns. And the reason is I can play bishop d4 check and I'm defending mate. But I was worried about knight takes e6 coming. Now, the engine doesn't worry. The engine just calculates for 1,000 years, and then it says black's winning. But I was worried. So, because of my, what's the word? Whatever the word is, showing that I'm scared. There is a word, but I can't think of it. Gawking rabble? San V subscribed. The fruit cup is good, except it's mulligatawny soup. Fear? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just didn't like that position, so I ended up trading queens, which is awful. Now, the reason it's awful isn't because it does or doesn't stop his attack. The reason it's awful is because it gives up the d6 square. And that's awful. Frankly, terrible. So after here, the engine says I'm better. And after here, I'm worse. And I didn't think much of rook d6. You know, I was like, all right, I'll defend my knight and kick his rook out. Whatever. Delicious. I think the engine wants me to go here. I don't trust this engine. I mean the good engine. Not this terrible engine. But I played here. And I thought finally I was out of trouble. I'll play bishop f8, next move, and kick his rook out. And then I have 2 bishops and a better pawn structure. And he played e5, which is the best move, and I wasn't concerned, but I should have been concerned. And I totally underestimated his exchange sacrifice. My move is okay, but I should play f5 probably. Then if he wins this pawn, I could win this pawn, and he can't let me play g4, so he's got to take one way or the other. And I didn't want his knight to take and threaten that, so knight a4 threatens that. Yeah, the engine says I'm worse here. Bishop f8 is probably okay. And the idea is if he saves his rook, then he's in a lot of trouble because I play g4 attacking his knight and then f5. And then he can't move. I mean, I have two bishops and I have all the space and he doesn't have any ideas. So he played excellent exchange sack. And I saw this, and then as he played, I was like, yeah, I guess it's not good for me. I can't lose this pawn, and I can't play g4 because knight e5 forks the rook and the pawn, so I have to take. He checked. I played the only move, king g7. This loses, and this loses. Which I knew because I calculated and said, damn, those suck. Okay, I was worried about this, but it turns out that's fine, but it's okay for me. Yeah, and here I made a blunder, and I didn't look at the only move. I didn't look at it. Black only has one move here, and it's still about equal, but I didn't even look at the move. It's hard to play the move if you don't look at it. Man, this Gobi 65 is so good. Heinz Superman subscribed. It doesn't matter that he lost. It matters to him. Who wants to win? I assume you're talking about Magnus. Yeah, bishop e7 is the best move. I didn't look at it. Then I'm just equal. But I played here, and now I'm losing. Thanks, Rick E, for the sub. All right, what's the over-under on Cuomo resigning? He won't resign ever, or he'll resign the next week?
Next week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think he won't resign because he's insane, and I think he'll get impeached. That's what I'm guessing happens. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the worst.
He's not the worst.
You didn't read the thing and hear the women talk about him.
Oh, he's bad. I'm just saying,
No, he's not the worst. He didn't, he's no Harvey Weinstein, but, No,
so bright in here.
I made a joke with Aviv. Mm-hmm. A very apropos joke to tell when I'm on Chess TV. I said,
Hey, Barack Obama.
Cuomo's going to resign.
Vincenzo.
Okay. Then he's going to go on tour with
Gates.
Bill Gates?
No. Matt Gates.
Oh, Matt? No. Let's see who gets it.
Oh, by Bill Gates. On tour.
Come on.
I do eat on this stream sometimes.
Yes, Bill Cosby. You said he's no Bill. Yeah, with Bill Cosby. They'll go on tour.
That one's better.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill Cosby has him crushed, but. Yeah, 2,000 viewers.
Why not?
I was a fan of Cuomo until I learned he's sexually harassed every woman he's met in the last 20 years. Or 30 years. All right. Also, he's innocent except for one thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Biden said he should resign. Everybody said he should resign. There's not a Democrat who didn't say he should resign. Biden says you have to resign. And he's still not going to resign. And they're like, that, son. One of the differences between Democrats and Republicans, other than, white supremacy and Nazism and idiocy and, not getting vaccinated, other than that, is they both commit sexual harassment and rape and whatever all the time. When the Democrats get caught, they're out. When Republicans get caught, they're like, well, there was no trial, so maybe he didn't do it, and then nothing happens. I mean, Al Franken barely did anything, and he's out. He was a senator. I mean, every Republican accused of anything did worse than him. And they're like, I didn't do it. Then they move their eyes back and forth. That's when I knew they did it. $9.99. What? What he said about Italian?
Johnny Cotillo. Mm-hmm. Cuomo and Cosby can do community
That is good.
serving chill.
This is complete nonsense. What's complete nonsense? The Cuomo thing isn't unusual.
Wait, what?
No, it's not. All people in power sexually harass everybody. That's what they do. Truth hurts. When Republicans do it, everybody's like, they're Republicans. What do you want them to do? When Democrats do it, other Democrats say you have to resign now because you shouldn't do that. And most of them say, like, okay. And then Cuomo's like, I didn't do nothing. I kissed my mother. During the questioning, he presented evidence of him kissing his mother. He did. Come on.
I kiss everybody. Mm-hmm. He does kiss everybody. And more.
So it came out about a week ago that the FBI had something like 450 tips and complaints about Kavanaugh throughout his life when they were investigating Kavanaugh, and they sent them to the White House, and the White House tried to find a trash bin somewhere with hundreds. And then Kavanaugh's on the Supreme Court. All right. Now, this is very interesting. He played 94. I'm just losing here. I played the only move that doesn't lose immediately. First of all, thanks Bishop Takes for the subbing, gifting a sub. First of all, Karen, I was afraid of that. And I finally concluded it doesn't work, but it's almost checkmate. So let's say I play random move, okay? Mm-hmm. I was like, is this checkmate? Actually, it is checkmate. It is. This is mate. But that's because I played here. So takes, rook f6. And I was like, man, this isn't good. Okay, if I go here, I didn't see checkmate here, but this threatens knight here, mate. See? Mm-hmm. So you have to move the bishop to stop it. Actually, you could play rook takes stopping it, but that's really bad because the knight takes rook. Oh, it's actually really bad because of checkmate. God damn. That's not good. Two bishops, what else? Okay, so I have to play here. And then he goes, he just takes it. So I have to play bishop e7. That makes more sense. Then he queens. Because my bishop is stopping the mate. So now if I take it, mate. So I was actually really worried about bishop takes h6. And I played the only move that doesn't lose immediately, which is rook double on the bubble up. Okay, now the engine still says he's better here, but he's not winning like he was. Yeah, now I can go here, and if you play rook g6, threatening this mate, the one we just looked at, because I doubled up on the bubble up, now my rook's defended. So he can't, I'm winning now. Yeah. Okay. So I played rook here. I wanted to take this pawn really badly, and then sack and exchange and have like a better ending, I guess. He played the best move, and I played the only move. And he played the best move, and I played the only move. If I go here or here, he checks you with his knights and wins all my pieces. So I played here. And this is the critical position I was in time trouble. He was approaching time trouble. And he's actually winning by force here. And neither one of us saw the forced win, but I saw it could happen. But I didn't know that he was winning for him. He has to play this check. Okay, so I have 4 legal moves. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why it's hard to figure all this out. Okay. If I go here, that's 1. He takes with check. I take. And he plays knight f6, threatening checkmate. And if I play the obvious here, because taking is the best move, then I'm just losing down the exchange for nothing. If I play here, he takes it, and then this is mate. So I can't play king h8 because of the line I just showed you. If I play king h7, I'm incredibly lost. Check, and then you just, I'm down like a rook. So I lose. Okay, if I play bishop g7, which looks like the obvious move, now he takes. I can't take with the king because rook takes check wins my rook. The skewer. Also, he's winning a piece and he's mating me. Okay, and so I have to take with a rook. And now he plays knight d6, forking my rook and bishop. And I can't save anything because if I play rook c7, my rook's overworked. It's defending both bishops. He could just take this with check and win, or take this and win. Doesn't matter. So I have to play king h7, and then this wins. And I lose a piece. I'm down a piece. I actually saw that. And so I have to play here because of those variations. And then he goes here. That's the only legal move. And now I can't move. This is a very weird position. Black has no move, which is funny. Probably he didn't play this because he can't do anything right now. But I can't move my rook because rook here mate. I can't play rook takes rook because knight takes rook mate. I can't move my king. It has no legal moves. I can't move this. I can't move this. These will just be stopped. I can't move my bishop because it undefends my rook. Moving this bishop, I can't move either. Bishop here blocks my rook. I can't move anything. So the engine's like king h2 wins because I can't move. Now, nobody's going to see that. That's genius, by the way, that black is in total zugzwang here. That's amazing. So now the engine says I'm lost. Okay, so he would have won if he had seen that and played rook g6 check here. If he would have saw that I was in zugzwang. Okay, so instead of doing that, he just won his exchange back, and he played the forced draw line, but I didn't want to draw. So I played for the loss. It's a very easy draw to just do this. And then this is a dead draw. Nobody could legally win. And since it was a dead draw, I didn't do that. I played king e7, and I thought this ending was about equal, but actually I'm worse, because he goes here and wins my pawn. And his outside pass pawn's better than my center pawn. It's not good. Yeah, and here he made a mistake. He should play c3, and then I win this pawn. The engine doesn't want me to win that pawn. It wants me to move my king up. And after this move, I can draw immediately, although I don't want to draw. I'm playing for a win even though I'm worse. This is actually a draw king and pawn ending.
So
yeah.
So why is the outside
outside pass pawn is always better in an endgame, because if you imagine a scenario where I win this pawn and he wins this pawn, then his king is much closer. So
I wouldn't have called it pass if there's because of the G pawn, so maybe.
Would have called it what?
I didn't really know that was considered pass pawn since there's another pawn on the adjacent file.
No, there's not.
Before you took it, you were making the comment that the.
No, it's only passed when he takes this.
Okay, I thought you were trying
now
to
it's
say
passed.
your pawn was passed.
This pawn's passed.
I know.
Right.
I thought you were trying to say your H pawn was passed.
No. This
You're
one.
saying his G pawn.
His G pawn's passed and my E. Right. Then
Okay,
my E
I thought
pawn.
you were talking about your other.
Right. No. H pawn's just gone
I
away.
misunderstood.
Yeah. Okay. So this draws immediately. That's why his move's not good. Because I move my king up, and this pawn structure, this exact pawn structure, if I play a5, he can't break through. I can just sit. There's no breakthrough. So I move my king up to the 4th rank before he does. He can't break through here. It's all zeros. Now, I don't want to draw because I'm trying to win this worst position. So I did that. I'm worse now because his king gets to the 4th rank. He stops my e5 push, and he pushes his own pawn. So he's going to play king here, knight here, and push his pawn. And I can't do anything. And I realized I might lose, so I played here to bail out, and he made a mistake here. He took this, which is very bad, because that gives me the d5 square for my king. So he should just not do that. He could play like knight here, even king here. He shouldn't let my king walk up here. So this is a mistake, and now it's just a draw. I'm not even losing anymore. And then I correctly move my king up. I was still hoping to win, because I could sack my bishop for his pawn, and then my king wins these pawns, and I win. That's the goal. Problem is I can't get my king up. I can't get it up. That was the problem. Yeah, that's why the board's blue. I can't legally move my king here, and I can't legally move my king here. So I can't go take his pawns. However, if he pushes this and I take, then I can win his pawns. It's probably a draw, but I'll take black. So I tried, but I failed miserably. Yeah, here I didn't know what to do. I can't do anything that helps. So I played here, and I was hoping he would do this, which is still a draw, but then I could try to win. Takes and try to queen. But he played this check, and now he's better if he goes here, but it's still a draw. But he just wanted a draw. Then he offered me a draw here, which is a normal, but I played b4, which has no winning chances. But and I'll show you what I was hoping for, which is also a draw. So he just took this, and then it's a draw. And then he offered me a draw again. I was going to play here and then take and then win his pawn, king versus king. But he offered me a draw, so I was like, all right. Here's what I was hoping for. I was hoping in this position he would go here. And then I was going to play to win. It doesn't lose. Instead of just letting him play this, takes, I was going to go here. And now he has only one move that draws. This loses. Because I queen and he doesn't. Yeah, and I can queen and he can't queen. But, yeah, this move draws. I wasn't sure who was better here, but I was going to do it. But the engine says it's all zeros. Like, he pushes his pawns, and I push my pawn. At least I could try to win. But he didn't do that. He just played g6. So then I can't win now, because I'll watch it. I mean, the guy played great, considering he's 2030. He basically outplayed me from a worse position, and then he missed a forced win that's, like, impossible to find. And he played faster than me, too. And he stacked paper to the ceiling. He wrote on 24-inch chrome. I couldn't believe it. Delicious. Yay, 25 centimeters. Thank you. They're talking about your eye roll when I was talking about, can't get my king up and blue board. That's all they're talking about now.
Now that made it look like a weird color.
50 centimeters. Thanks, Farty Party. Thomas the Turtle. Aloha from New York. I think I know you. So yeah, it was a tough tournament because my opponents didn't hang all their pieces every move. It's not really fair. So, if you thought I was bad, in round 1 of the Rockefeller, Ryo Chen's on board 1 because he's 2,300, and he's playing a 1,300. Ryo Chen was lucky to draw, very lucky. It was a 1,000-point rating difference. Then he drew 2 more games, so he didn't come in first or second, and he's way higher in than everybody else. God damn, junior tournaments are tough. A Wonder won. He beat Carissa Yip in the last round.
Yeah.
I thought A Wonder was worse, but maybe I was wrong.
Hey, Squire.
Professor
Hey,
Butt
Twitchy.
subscribe. Now, when I tell you the following things, you'll be like going for the rule book. You'll be like, what? You ready for this?
Okay.
I've been a director my whole life, and everything shocked me. I believed it, but I'm still shocked. The U.S. Open's not FIDE rated, which is absurd, by the way. It never is. Which is absurd. All of the tournaments, the Denker, the Barber, they're all FIDE rated. Now, you ready for this?
Yeah.
They're in the same room. Okay, FIDE rules, you can't have spectators. U.S. Open said you could have spectators. So while they're in the same room, no spectators allowed. Now that our tournaments are over, now spectators can come because there's none of those FIDE tournaments. Here's another thing that was crazy. Because you're not allowed to have spectators, are you ready for this? When I tell you this, you're not even going to believe it. The people in the U.S. Open were not allowed to look at our games. Forbidden. We were in a part of the room, and they were next to us, and they weren't allowed to walk into our area. Because they're not playing in the FIDE-rated event, they're not allowed there. But we're allowed to look at everything, because that's not FIDE-rated. And they mixed, on DGT boards that you guys were watching, the boards, so you're actually like right there. So they're claiming like people that are playing in the US Open can't get up and look at a game that's like next to them. Like it's on the same table.
That's pretty dumb.
So the way they set it up was weird. But they said that's the rule. They said no spectators while the tournaments are going on. The tournaments ended today. Now the US Open can have spectators. It couldn't before. And when our game is done, we're not allowed to be in the room. We're out. Not because of COVID, because FIDE rules. So if you're in the US Open and your game is done, you can be in the room. Or no, you can't, because there's no spectators allowed. So before round one, I told my opponent, when I resign this game, I'm going to wait 5 minutes and look at all the games and then resign. Because then I'm not doing anything wrong. Yeah, and they kicked Burnett out the last round. Burnett was standing watching, and they're like, get out of here. Because he was done, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Go get out of here. Okay, and this is the rule you like. In the hall where the tournament is, you have to wear a mask. That's considered part of the U.S. Open. Once you're not in the hall and you're in like the lobby, then you don't. The New Jersey and this hotel don't care about masks. In New Jersey, there's no mask mandate anywhere.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
But are people allowed in the hall that are staying in the hotel? Are random people allowed in the hall?
No, that's a good question. Right. If somebody didn't know the U.S. Open was going on, and they're just a guest in the hotel, I think they're not allowed in the convention area unless they wear a mask, because that's the rules for that area for the yeah.
I can't imagine that
Yeah,
people that are in the hotel can't be in the hall.
they can if they have a mask on.
I don't know. It doesn't seem very enforceable.
Right. No, I'm not saying it is, but yeah. They had a lot of crazy rules. That was the important
They
thing.
tried to get me to put my mask on at the Chicago Open out in the hall.
Well, they tried to get her mask on the airplane. Now,
What? I'm not a mask, denier.
okay, now. What was I going to say? It was really funny and important. But I interrupted myself. It had to do with, so parents were allowed in the room before the round started. Then they're like, we're starting the round, get out of here. So all the parents had to leave, like at the Nationals.
Okay, yeah.
Because they're not allowed in the room once the game starts. And they didn't want to leave. Like, they'll leave, but they want to leave like when they want to. And they're like, get out. And I saw parents like opening the door and looking at like, why? Like their kids playing somewhere and they can't see and I mean the room is huge, so you can't look at it and see anything. Man, parents are dumb.
I'm not confusing anything trying to learn.
Now, some of the kids are young in the Rockefeller, right? They're 7, 8, 9 years old, and they're just running around during their game. That's what they do. They're just running in the room because that's what they do. They run. Can't help it. Yeah. No, I think you're confused trying to learn, as per usual. So the tournament hall, you have to wear a mask. And if you're not playing in the tournament, you can't go in the tournament hall. All right. Now the hallway next to the tournament hall where like there's pairings and standings and parents are all hanging out, you have to wear a mask. And Karen's saying, what if you're not in the tournament, you're just a guest at the hotel and you walk into that area?
Well,
I mean,
I'm talking about in Chicago, it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
really an area in the way that it was at the World Open, where there was an adjacent room. It was a hall that anybody could walk through that was in the hotel. And
Mm-hmm.
they were trying to tell me I had to wear a mask out there when there were other people that weren't part of the tournament that could easily wander through. It wasn't blocked
Thanks
off.
for reminding me how stupid the arbiters are, because that's what I was going to talk about.
Yeah.
Arbiters like to tell Karen what to do. If you're going to tell somebody what to do, it's not Karen. Find somebody else.
I do what they tell me to do.
No, the guy's like yelling at you, and you're like, I'm playing my game. At the tournament room.
Were you talking about the mask?
No. The guy was like asking like what you were doing in the room, and you're like, I'm playing my game. No, the guys like to talk to you too about nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
The guys will talk to her during her game and like, okay.
I mean, I wasn't the only one.
Now, kids are terrible. Parents are worse. The worst are directors and arbiters. Okay. Every time I go to a tournament that's not in St. Louis, that has FIDE rated, norms, GMs everywhere, the arbiters will not shut the fuck up. The arbiters talk nonstop. There's like a mental illness or something. So I've known this for years. I'm playing in this tournament, and there's always noise. Whenever I look, it's the arbiters talking to each other. Like next to the boards. They could go somewhere else and talk. And they do lots of nonsense. They're making noise. They're manufacturing noise. They're like moving things. I mean, they just make as much noise as they can. That's what all the arbiters do everywhere I go. In St. Louis, they don't do that shit.
Well, and what you don't understand, because you're up with the elite people.
Who meet to eat?
You, at the World Open. But ask McJurgle.
No, I know.
Trying to learn. Ask anybody. We're at the bottom boards in this big room where all the TDs hang out there.
Yep.
Oh, man, the TDs are
The TDs are so loud.
They're horrible.
When I went to Al Ain for the World Cities team, which was all super grandmasters,
yeah,
the arbiters wouldn't shut up. I told arbiters to be quiet, like all the time.
and then they don't stop other people from talking.
Right. The arbiters
excuse
are
me,
standing next to the game, like talking in a normal voice. I'm like, get out of here. Like, just talking about nonsense. They're just like, I guess I can talk. I'm an arbiter. God damn.
I will say I did yell out by accident at the Blitz tournament.
Accident.
I did. I was just like these Goichberg TDs that I'm complaining about. I yelled out. I got excited. I was one of the 2 floor TDs at our Blitz championship this past Saturday, and I yelled out, "Well, I've got it all on video."
Yeah, you showed them. There was a dispute, and Karen had it videoed, so she showed them, and they went, all right.
We went out in the hall and resolved the issue with my rolled the tape.
The thing to learn from this is everybody's the worst. I mean, obviously Republicans are the worst, but then you get Cuomo. They're terrible. He should be an honorary Republican.
I was so happy I had my video evidence. Dr. Chess RX says, I never did that. Have you always been quiet, Dr. Chess RX? I mean, I'm not perfect, but I try to be quiet. Yes, I'm an arbiter. Don't even get me started, Twitchy. I'll start,
Oh, if you thought everybody who ever talked to you in your life was sexist, listen to this.
Hang on a minute. Look at my name on US Chess.
Yeah.
I mean, I have TD'd,
More tournaments than anybody in the country. All right, but anyway.
Probably close to 200 tournaments.
No, listen to this.
Maybe more. I don't even know.
On Twitter, somebody showed an article that somebody wrote to like a California newspaper. She said, "Hi, my name is this, and I'm 12 years old." Says, "I want to complain about this parade that was in my town." I don't remember the town, small town. Says, the announcers were saying what was happening, and they said, "Oh, there's the Boy Scouts, and those are the future leaders of America, and now come the Girl Scouts. They look pretty."
What?
Yeah, he said the Boy Scouts is the future, and the girls look pretty.
No.
And then she's like, "I've been dealing with this my whole life," and she's 12, and she's like, "Can't people, and she was complaining. I was like, "Yeah."
Well, I think I know what you're saying, Twitchy. I call myself a TD, and I think of arbiter as a fide.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought maybe somebody was using them
Right.
interchangeably because of an English.
In Europe,
Yeah.
they don't know what a TD is. Everybody's an arbiter. So if you say you're a TD, they're like, "What does that mean?" You have to say arbiter.
Right.
In this country, we say TD. In every other country in the world, they say arbiter. And then if it's FIDE, you're supposed to say arbiter. They don't know what a TD is. If it's the USCF, everybody says TD.
I say TD, but
Yeah, but I mean, that's...
people use it interchangeably a little bit. I do see the distinction, though. I agree that there's a distinction.
Bob's your uncle. That's Danny's favorite phrase.
Well, and I guess I can't tell my story because we're on Chess TV. TD.
I was just gonna say the
TV.
Boy Scouts are just kids who get raped when they're little. They're not leaders. They're just rape victims.
Well, I guess my story could have been told.
I'm trying to get her to tell her story. Yeah. No, I mean it's an evil organization. That's what it is. Yeah, it's like the Catholic Church. It's evil. Don't like it? Too bad. Too dark.
Please.
Yeah, TD means term and director. I want to hear your story.
Can I tell my story?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a 10-minute story.
Good.
It's
Got
a
till
long
time.
story.
Good.
It might be too boring and long.
Indian.
Don't give in to hate. Hate leads to the dark side.
Good. Good.
J. Finegold.
Mm-hmm. Kara's not a Star Wars fan. And then some.
I don't hate Star Wars. I don't hate Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge fan.
You're not a small fan.
No, I'm not. They're just all right. They're all right. I don't get it.
If Star Wars was on TV, would you ever watch it?
Yeah, I might watch a little bit of it. But I wouldn't sit down and be like, "Oh, but," you'd be like, "Oh, yeah, let me check some of this out."
Yeah.
But I would, I don't hate it.
All right, now we're going to do it. Before you tell your story,
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident in what's going to happen now. Name people in Star Wars, not actors, the characters' names.
People in Star Wars?
Yeah, characters in Star Wars.
So I only saw the first three. So Luke Skywalker.
Uh-huh.
And then Princess Leia.
Uh-huh.
And then...
By the way, she's doing better than I thought.
R2-D2.
Mm-hmm. Using my jokes against me. Good.
C-3PO.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the gorilla guy?
The gorilla guy.
Gorilla guy. It's like not Chachi.
All right, I think I proved my point. Yeah, Darth Vader is pretty well known. Chewbacca is what you were thinking of. You forgot Han Solo. I mean, he's the most famous actor of all of them, I guess.
Well, you said I couldn't say actor names.
Right, but I mean the guy who plays Han Solo. You should remember Han Solo.
I know the actor.
Han Solo's important. Yeah, he's an important part of whatever. Those are the first three
Chewbacca,
movies.
Okay, Chewie. Chewie is what I was thinking. All right, so let me tell my story because what?
Yo. Oh, Chachi, that's a good answer.
Are you gonna let me tell my story? I don't think you can let me tell my story.
I can't. Yay, 500 cents to dues. All right.
Okay, so what made me think of my story was because we were just talking about, I guess, some sexism, and I forgot now what it was. Anyway.
Yeah, they said you're a director, you're an arbiter, and then I told the Girl Scout, Boy Scout story.
But Twitchy wasn't being sexist.
Not knowingly, but yeah.
But it reminded me of a sexist story. Okay, so now I'm going to tell it. But the story's really more about me being, acting uglier than I'm happy with.
Like a Karen?
Well, no, because in this particular instance, I was justified I mean, I could have punched this guy's face.
I think when people are Karens, they think they're justified too.
I know, but they're not. In this case,
Oh.
I am.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
Unless you disagree, then we can let the guy back in the building.
Oh yeah, no, you were right. Yeah. No. Yeah, I know what you're gonna say. You were ugly, but he started it.
Anyway, so here's what happened. We're all hanging out at the club, and I'm not going to say the guy's name.
I will. No.
But to give a little backstory, I know this guy. Was he middle-aged white guy? I know him because he used to be an organizer around town, and I used to play in his tournaments. And now Dr. Chesarx is on here. Not Dr. Chesarx. Yeah, Dr. Chesarx.
Yeah, but it's not him.
But it's not you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you'll know because I hadn't cussed you out lately. Now,
Right.
Anyway, so the guy, I know him. He comes in and he has a stack of papers. This was last Tuesday night. And I'm sitting there with Spencer and 2 employees. And we're just hanging out. Hey, Indo Queen. I'm telling a long story. I can already tell that it's too long. Sorry, I don't know how to cut. I don't know how to trim it. But anyway, I want to talk faster. So he comes in, and he has a stack of papers. And hey, how's it going? How's it going? Oh, good. I wanted to give you these flyers for my tournament, and see if you could put these out for me. Well, I'm immediately thinking I don't want to put the flyers out, okay? But I wasn't honest. And I said, because I don't, I'm not a huge fan of the guy, but I don't dislike him or anything. I don't really know him that well, but he's a competitor, I'm thinking immediately, what event is this? And I said, well, sure, you can put them over here on the counter next to the Purell. And I'm already imagining as soon as he turns around, I'm going to throw the flowers in the garbage, okay? But then it's not going to go that way. He says, oh, no. He's like, I was also hoping you could make an announcement before the tournament, because we have a tournament.
Yeah, don't play in our tournaments, play in his tournaments. That's the announcement.
His tournament. So then I'm like,
his tournaments during one of our tournaments.
I'm like, oh, crap.
Wow.
All right, now, I really messed up by telling him I was going to do this because he's not even leaving, and he's expecting me now to make announcements before.
This is like when you went to McDonald's and you passed out Burger King flyers. It didn't happen, but that's like what it's like. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to try to go faster. So anyway, I went to the back, and I called Ben. I said, Ben, this happened, and I should have told him no, but I'm going to lie, and I'm going to say that we just spoke on the phone and that you reminded me that our policy. This is so dumb.
It's not really a falsehood. I mean, we don't.
We don't.
We used to do stuff and we don't.
And I forgot.
It's sort of like true.
It's kind of half true.
And you talk to me on the phone.
I do put some flyers out. You know what? Steve Schneider can put his flyers in here anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but anyway. So Ben doesn't give a shit. He's like, that's fine, whatever. So I go back up front, and he's talking to Spencer. And I'm waiting on him to stop talking, waiting on him to stop talking. And then I'm like, okay. I said, well, I just talked to Ben, and he reminded me of our policy that we can't put flyers out. So I'm sorry about that. And he said, what do you mean? Why can't you put the flyers out? And I said, yeah, we used to do that when we first opened, and we just don't do that anymore. We're a business. We're trying to make some money. And he had, by the way, he had told me, that his tournament was like that Friday night when we have our blitz. So anyway, he said, there was kind of this long pause, and he said, do you like chess? I said, what? Do you like chess? And then I just stood there processing it, like, what is going on? And I said, I don't understand the question. And he said, I thought you supported chess. Okay, now I'm getting it. I don't put his goddamn flyers out, and somehow I'm not supporting chess. All I do for chess. So, of course, I was immediately so mad. but I was trying to be calm.
Trying is the first step to failure.
And I said, don't you come in here with your bullshit insinuations about me. And then I walked in the other room because I was really mad. And I didn't want to cuss him out. Yeah, grow the fucking game.
Yeah.
Anyway, almost done. About halfway through. Okay, so I go to the other room. I can still see him. And he says, kind of sticks his lip out. And he turns around and he says, well, do you mind if I tell people about the tournament? Can I tell people about it? And I said, and I'm talking to him about 20 feet away. We're in separate rooms. We can see each other. And I said, well, you can tell people about it, but you just don't pass the flyers out. And then he said, all right. Well, I thought you cared about chess or something about, supported chess. And then I was so mad again because he's just going to keep going. And I said, look, you don't like it. Just get the fuck out of here. I said, you walk in here all privileged, like the world owes you something. The world doesn't owe you shit. So then I walked to the back, and I was determined I was not going to go back out front until I was calm again.
Good thing you left your piece at home.
And I was hoping he would leave. Okay.
And before she continues, this guy's not small. He's like tall and towering and big. So it's like, it's intimidating because he's a tall, big guy. Yeah.
Anyway, so I felt calmer. I come back up front, and we have this really long hallway on the Skittles side of the chess club. So he's standing there, and he's big, and he's like standing there blocking the way by all this row of flyers. And I'm striding up the hall because I'm always a fast walker, and I'm always busy. And I'm striding up the hall, and I'm thinking, God damn it, why is he still here? And he goes, Karen, can I ask you a question? And I said, sure. And I'm striding. And he doesn't move. Like, I'm trying to get by him. We're trying to get ready for the tournament.
See, the thing was, you didn't show him where the bag of dicks was. That's the problem. He would have left right away.
So I got right up on him, and I said, excuse me, let me by. And I did my southern by in my finger. And he moved. And I went by and sat down on the couch, and Spencer was sitting there looking down, and my two employees were looking down. Nobody was looking. They were all like, oh shit, let me just pretend this isn't going on, 'cause I don't want to be involved. And I sat down, and he held up our instructor list and goes, how can I get on this instructor list? Because he is about expert level, I guess, on a good day.
Floored.
And I said, you're not getting on the list. And then he said, blankety blank is on here, and he's a member. I said, no, he's not a member. And then he walks
This guy's a member of our club. Yeah.
This guy, and then he walks over to me, and he says, well, I'm sorry that you got upset today, but I won't be back. And I said, see ya. And that was it.
What's funny is his kid comes here a lot, who's an adult. So Karen wanted to ban his children, his children's. Yeah.
Actually, let me add on to that real quick, and then I'm done. The backstory is, I had just gotten into it with his son. Like,
when you say just, it was weeks ago. Yeah,
it's 6 weeks earlier, and so it was just kind of funny. Mm-hmm. And I mean, get into it. I got into it. And I hardly ever get into it with the customers.
Well, wait a minute. Oh, okay.
No, hardly ever.
You know the guy that you banned because he left the Blitz tournament?
Yeah, but he and I are still friendly.
Yeah, but you banned him.
No, he agreed it was due him. He was due a
Thanks
ban.
to Tisker Tasker.
He was due a ban. He knew it.
Mm-hmm. Come on, where's all the donations for that great story? Terrible.
I was mad. I don't really like to, even though I don't think I did anything wrong per se, I don't like to have harsh words like that. So I did feel bad.
Hey, Triggered was triggered by your story. He subscribed. Good. 500 bits. Oh, yeah, we already did that. You have the same shirt. Yeah. So occasionally at our chess center, since we run dozens and dozens and dozens of tournaments, occasionally somebody leaves during the tournament and doesn't tell us. So, it's like a 5-round tournament. They play round 2 or 3, and they're like, yeah, that's enough. And they leave, and they don't tell us, and we pair them next round. Well, this has happened in the Blitz tournament, where it's 6 games in like 80 minutes. And after round 3 or 4, the guy left. He was one of the highest rated players, and he was paired because he didn't tell anybody he was leaving and withdrawing. And then he got paired, and his opponent didn't have a game in the Blitz. And we're like, where is he?
Yeah.
You can't just withdraw and then not tell anybody because you're going to get paired and somebody doesn't have a game. But people do that anyway because people are the worst.
I banned him. No, I banned him.
Oh, yeah.
And he
Then you were swearing to him on the phone. He said, are you kidding?
I banned him, and he took it like a man. Said, "Yeah, that was fair." And I told him, he's a master level player. You don't just leave a tournament because you're. He said he was tilted.
Thanks, Indo Queen, for the 100 cent to dues.
How old are you? 12.
Thanks, Council of Rooks, for 999 cent to dues.
Oh, I was tilted.
Thanks, Bishop Takes, for gifting a sub. Thanks, here Trio, for gifting a sub, etc. Mainly, etc. Yeah, basically everyone's the worst. That's what you've learned from this presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, he knew better. He definitely knew better. He says he knows better. He'll come back, I bet.
Yeah, people get mad when they play chess. Now, the funniest thing I saw at a chess tournament, there was a guy in Michigan named Frank D. Machowski who was like 6'10", and not small. He wasn't thin. And he lost like 6 inches. He's not tall anymore. He's tall, but he's not 6'10". So, and he's like in his 70s. But I mean, it was weird. Anyway, his brother's also very tall, and his mom is not. His mom's like short. But his brother's like also 6'10", his son's like 6'11". Anyway, and his daughter, I only met her when she was 12, and she was 5'8". So she was obviously going to be, 6 feet something. Okay, but anyway, there's another guy in the club named Bill Prusadis. Bill Prusadis is, like Evelyn, Chow would beat him up. I mean, Bill Prusadis, he's an adult, but he's like 5'2" and scrawny. And we're having the Michigan Blitz Championship in Ann Arbor, and they got into it. They were playing each other, and they had an argument. And I thought Frank was going to, kill the whole world. And then we're like, the guy was just in his face yelling at him, too, the guy who was, 5'2". And I'm like, you can't, Frank, you can't, the guy's 2 feet shorter than you. You can't, you got to calm down. He apologized later for getting mad. They were really mad, both of them. That wouldn't have been a good fight for Bill. I think Bill's still alive because they didn't fight. Man, truth hurts. Fret God, 99 cents to do, 200 cents to dues. Yeah. People get really mad at Blitz tournaments for a minute and they stop. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Indo Queen. She liked my story.
Let's see. Shot is True says, I suck for that Kobe comment. I have no idea what Kobe comment I made, but it definitely was making fun of his death. So I stand by that.
No.
Yeah. I mean, Kobe was a terrible person, and he was good at basketball. And for some reason, him being good at basketball means that, that he's a great person. So you suck for admiring athletes who aren't good people because you like watching basketball. So mainly you suck. So let me know when you die, whoever you are, let me know, and then I'll make fun of you. Yeah.
All right, well.
I mean, people are just terrible, and you think, Michael Jordan's a good person? You think Kobe is? These are the worst people ever. God damn. Ginger GM. I heard he did, but I don't know. I heard it was, in a bar. Yeah.
Wait, what happened? In a bar?
Many years ago, I heard in either Gibraltar or Isle of Man, I don't know which is which, that Ginger GM and Hikaru got into it, and Ginger GM punched him. And Hikaru forgave him because... Yeah. You don't know what Kobe did? Can I let you know? Wow. I can't let you know, but, I mean, if you go to the internet and look at 5,000 stories, you'll know. It sounds like you don't know who Kobe Bryant is. So, LeBron is a good person. You know, I guess. He's like an average person. He's very rich, though, and very good at basketball. Felix Frias gifted a sub. Hanging Queen City 100 cent to dues. Bill Bradley's a good person. How is he terrible? Because someone accused him they couldn't prove. All right. Yeah, go read about people that you think are great, and you'll learn that they're not. Yeah, that's the saddest thing I ever read.
That's funny. Dr. Cheshire said, "Do not bring your flowers my way."
Yeah, yay, 100 cents to dues. Yeah, you know, Keanu is a good guy. He's the only good guy. That's it. Terrible actor, but good guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Kobe went back to his wife after the incident. Do you remember what he did?
He bought her a diamond ring.
How much? Do you remember?
$20 million?
No, $3 million.
Oh.
But yeah, he's innocent because he bought her a $3 million. Yeah, that's what innocent.
I remember
people.
the big ring.
No, Kobe was just not a nice person. That's all. It has nothing to do with the fact that he raped that woman. I'm talking about like his just general life. Yeah, and he's Canadian. Tom Hanks. Everyone likes Tom Hanks. I mean, you know, he's a C+ actor who everybody thinks is an A+ actor.
Kobe seemed like a good dad.
He seemed like it. Mm-hmm. Easier to be a good dad when you're worth $1 billion. But yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. No, he just was a dick to everybody he knew. Yeah. Michael Jordan's a gambling addict. Let's see, what else? And he's not nice. Man, if you see these guys when they're like working out and practicing, those aren't nice people. Yeah, kick your ass.
I don't care about the sports people.
Yeah, I agree. No, but people have hero worship, athlete worship, and they're like, that guy's great. And I'm like, he's good at what he does. I mean, Kasparov's good at chess. Well, he was. But yeah, just because you like somebody's chess doesn't make them a good person. And just because you like the way they play hockey or soccer or basketball. You gonna tell me that, I can't think of his name because I can't think of names. You can tell me Maradona was a good person? Right? You know what? Diego Maradona. See, here's what Diego Maradona did wrong. Let me tell you. Like the second most famous soccer player of all time. Okay. Here's what he did wrong. Okay. He did so much drugs, there weren't any more drugs. So people wanted to do drugs and they couldn't because Diego Maradona had them all. Yeah. I wonder if he died or not. Yeah. Yeah, Floyd Mayweather's not a nice person. Wesley So I like. Yeah. I like Ding Liren too. Yeah. You were just thinking of Maradona. Yeah, there's a goal where he hit it in with his hand, which is illegal, and they didn't call it. So they said, did it hit your hand? And it's like, it was the hand of God. It's called the hand of God goal. Yeah, you can't touch, but the referee said, I didn't see nothing. So, yeah. Bill Bradley was dating my roommate's mom when I was in college. He used our bathroom, bought us some what? What is this made-up story? Yeah, I like Eric and Amon. Yeah.
Kabuka.
Yeah. The only person better than Bill Bradley is Bill Brasky. Yeah, he's even taller. Bill Bradley was pretty tall. Let's see. How can I say Karpov's name? I said Kasparov. I didn't say Karpov. Terrible.
I have to go soon. No, how late are you streaming?
10 more minutes.
Okay, I'll wait then. Just because I have an archer. I need to get him to bed.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He blocked it with his hand. Yeah, I forgot because it was 1,000 years ago. Hayes Berry subscribed. Bill Murray's, random guy. Everybody says he's great. Good actor. I like watching. Twitchy got the Bill Brasky reference. Oh, so did Bangtown, California. We did invite Karpov to come to Atlanta whenever he wants. Also, I didn't tell you this, but I attempted to contact Fabi about coming here. So I did it 2 different ways. So I'm sure him and his manager have seen what I've... So I told him to contact you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fabi would be good.
I can't imagine we would get Fabi. That'd
Sure.
be great if we got him.
Yeah, we can get Fabi.
Can't hurt to ask.
If you pay anybody enough, they'll come. The question is, what's enough?
We still need to find somebody for the women's.
Right. I didn't get a chance to talk to Carissa or her dad.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still
Other
do.
guy's lying. The Hand of God was a goal for Maradona. Now I don't know what to believe. Yeah. If not Fabi, get Fabio. Karen would like that.
Get Yasser. Hey, Yasser, I think is going to come.
Yes, sir, and Karen are in discussions. Yeah.
I've already been
He'll
asking.
come
him-
eventually.
Been talking to him about doing
Yeah.
a hot tub stream with Ben, so he's already making jokes about it.
That was Suarez.
I think it's going to happen.
Now wait, who's the guy who bites people?
Hot tub.
Is that Suarez? There's a soccer player who bites his opponents. Is it Suarez? Let's see. Oh, also Suarez. Yeah. Yeah, he likes to bite his opponents. And then then Zinedine Zidane. He headbutted either his opponent or the referee. I forgot. And then they made fun of it on Family Guy. He did like a delivery, like a one of the singing telegram or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he made the delivery, and then he hit the guy with his head. Yeah. Suarez famous for biting his opponent. Yeah.
Hey, Ralph Wiggum.
Yeah. He headbutted an Italian player. Zidane right into the chest. You was talking all that good shit before you got kicked in your chest. What cartoon? This is tough.
Man,
This is a tough one.
I don't know.
Let's see if anybody gets it in the chat.
I don't watch enough.
That's one of the 3 best episodes of this cartoon. Boondocks is correct. Yeah. Yeah, the return of Stinkmeaner. It might be the best episode. It might be.
I've
Yeah.
heard you mention it.
My favorite part of the episode is when the kid, not Riley, the other kid, Huey figures out what's going on. He says, Stinkmeaner must have come from the dead and inhabited his spirit with other people's bodies. And that's what happened. But Huey took him a long time to figure that out. He was like, oh, okay, I figured out what's going on. And then there's a guy named Tom, who's named after Uncle Tom, black guy. And Stinkmeaner gets into his body a lot. That's the funniest. Because, he changes his appearance. But anyway, this great scene is Tom's trying to park, and this other guy cuts him off and parks in front of him. And he's like, sir, he's like, I can't believe you would do that. He's being really polite. And then while he's doing it, Stinkmeaner gets into his body. Mm-hmm. And the guy says, what you going to do about it? And then Tom just beats the hell out of him because it's Stinkmeaner. Then Stinkmeaner leaves his body, and it's Tom again. And Tom says, oh my God, are you okay? Who accosted this man? It was him, but he didn't know his now. Like this says, who accosted this man? We need help. Oh man, yeah, Boondocks is great. Go Yasser.
Yeah, we want to get Yasser.
Yeah. And so forth. You have to do work. No,
Good
anything
night,
but
Dr.
that.
Chester X. Yeah, and we'll get Nigel again too.
Yeah, Nigel's coming. Yasser will come eventually. Trying to get Fabi. Trying is the first step to failure. How's DiCaprio? So Karen's confused about DiCaprio. Okay, DiCaprio has more women than atoms in the universe, and she thinks he's like an average actor. I mean, like looks-wise.
Yeah.
She everybody's like, oh, he's the most handsome, and Karen's like,
I would say that's true.
like, he's average.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He has more women than atoms in the universe.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not ugly. I'm just saying that he's not he's special looking.
Mm-hmm.
He's a decent actor.
Yeah, I want to get his new book, actually, the Nigel book. Winning 300 Centidues.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I do like him way, way back in What's Eating Gilbert Grape. He's great in that.
Mm-hmm. They want to fix him. That's right. Thanks, Rumble Rob. In the Jungle.
Yeah, I don't think he's that good looking.
Now, Seinfeld, not funny, not talented, and when he was in his 40s, I guess, he was dating a girl in high school. So, I don't know. He's the worst person ever. Amicorn, 500 Centidues. Yeah, it went to Rome. Yay. We'll get a copy of the book. Yeah, he has a lot of money, which makes him a good person. There's an episode of, I think, Family Guy, but I could be wrong. And there's this really old timer, and he looks like a prospector from his big beard, and he's 100 years old.
Yeah.
And the Walmart-esque store opens in town, so all the businesses closed. They can't compete with Walmart. It's not Walmart, but it's Walmart. And they said, every business is closing down. The only business that's doing well is the tumbleweed business, because it's empty there and tumbleweeds are flying by. And the old guy is the tumbleweed guy, and he has like tons of money, and he has a really nice car. And then this woman who's like a hot 20-year-old says, "You're rich. That makes you attractive." And he goes, "Yay!" And then they drive away. So, when I was in Michigan before you guys were born, I assume he's not alive now, but he could be. There was a backgammon player who was one of the top 5 players in Michigan, and he was 80, and his girlfriend was a 25-year-old Asian girl. And I was like, "What?" And they said, "Oh yeah, he's really rich." And I said, "Oh." She played backgammon too, but she was like 100 strength. You know, she knew how to legally play, but yeah. But it's rare you see an 80-year-old with a 25-year-old. Now that means I didn't know he was rich. I don't know why he's rich, but you know, he was rich. Not from backgammon. Didn't South Park DiCaprio is sexier than what's her name on Titanic? Maybe.
Yeah, Twitchy liked my story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do math. Right. One of my favorite scenes is when somebody says, like, "Man, that guy's tougher than an Asian parent." Then they do a flashback, and the Asian parent with an Asian accent opens the door to his son's room, and he says, "Are you a doctor yet?" And the kid has no accent. He says, "No, Dad, I'm 12. And he says, "You don't come out of your room until you doctor." And then he closes the door. I like the way they gave the dad an Asian accent and the kid didn't have it. I like that. They did that. It's tougher than an Asian parent. I've met Asian parents like that. "Why aren't you a doctor?" "I'm 12. Yeah, he has an Asian kid with him. He says, "Do math," because he's trying to. Yeah.
Felix Frias says DiCaprio is sexier than what's her name? You mean
I read that.
Winslet?
Kate Winslet.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that.
Yeah.
I think Kate Winslet's really beautiful.
Come out of your room when you grandmaster. Yeah. No, I mean, I won't say who it is, but Asian parent at the World Youth. The tournament's over, and his kid came in third, which was incredible, and he was distraught. He's like, "Why did these other kids get more points than my son? Third in the world." I mean, Americans don't normally come in third in the World Youth or World Cadet. Usually, you know, China, India, Russia kick our ass. And he was upset that his kid came in third. And I was like, "I'm sorry your kid's the third best in the world. Sorry." Yeah. Now, the funniest thing about the World Youth is the American team looks like an Asian team because no whites allowed. Nobody's allowed. Yeah, it's just all Asian. In fact, I noticed that when we were playing today, and yes, you know, we're playing the tournament, there's 4 kids groups and there's the old man group that I'm in, right? The old men are just old men, okay? The kids, it was just Asian. I don't think and you know, you've been to the scholastics. Usually there's a token white kid, but I didn't see any. Yeah. I mean, you know, achievement's important. And as I was telling somebody, once the Asian kids get to like 11th and 12th grade, that's it. Now their parents make them, you know, become a doctor. And the only exception is who? Who's the only Asian kid in the United States who became a pro chess player? Didn't go to college.
Didn't go to college.
No, who plays chess.
Asian.
No. Jeffrey Zhang.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jeffrey Zhang. I'm like, you can't put Jeffrey Zhang in college and make him a doctor. He's 2,700. He's 20.
Oh, okay.
He's like top 30 in the world. I mean, you can't, you know.
Still might go.
And what happens is, if you go to scholastic tournaments, all the kids have Asian roots. If you go to adult tournaments, they do not, because they become doctors and stuff. Chess is over. And that's unfortunate, and probably the reason Jeffrey didn't quit chess is because of Rex. Because now you can make money playing chess in the U.S., So you have options. Before Rex, I mean, you should go to school because there's no money in the U.S. Now there's a lot of money in the U.S. And because of Twitch and, Hikaru and Magnus, now there's a lot of money in chess. So if you're watching this and you're an Asian parent, let your kid play chess for a living. They're going to do it, right? Mm-hmm. No. But yeah, I mean, if over the last 50 years, people didn't quit chess in their teens and 20s, there would have been a lot of really good American players. But Jim Tarjan said it best. Mm-hmm. Jim Tarjan, who quit chess for 40 years and now he's playing again, he said, when I was a chess player, I would go and I would sleep on somebody's floor and then I would hope to win like $50 in a tournament. He says, then I decided maybe I should do something else. He became a librarian. He's a librarian forever. He's retired. Now he's playing chess again. Mm-hmm. But in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, if you were like number 10, 20, 30 in the U.S., you better have a job, man. Because there's no internet. It's hard to give lessons because nobody, and the tournaments have no prizes. So in countries that had support from the government, those guys were good at chess because they didn't have to quit chess. But Americans did. Terrible. Mm-hmm. Hikaru went to school for like a month. It was in Pennsylvania, I think, and he decided he didn't like it. Mm. That was after he was already like top 20 in the world. It was like a phase he went through for a month or two. Yeah. No, but for musicians, it's also true. For a lot of people who aren't, 2,700, they can make money easily giving lessons and being streamers. There's a lot of people who give lessons and stream and YouTube who are rich. Okay, like Agad Mador, who I've never heard of, I'm sure he's wealthy, but he's like 2,000. And the Botes sisters are like, 2,200, 2,100, and they're rich. And there's a lot of people who are on the same level as them and they just teach. Like Spencer teaches, he has 1 billion students. If you want to be Spencer's student, he'll take 1,000,000,001. And you can have a lot of students now if you have a good reputation as a teacher. You advertise on Lead Chess, on chess.com, on Chess24, on ICC, in the air, in your dreams, right? Do you have advertisements in your dreams?
Not really.
Futurama. Yeah, so you can make money. Grouchy ran subscribed. And he ran. You, flock of seagulls, where's the case? It's in the cupboard. No, the one by your knees. We happy, Vincent? Vincent, are we happy? Yeah, we happy. What movie?
Vincent. I don't know.
Vincent.
I'm not very good. I'm not a
Bingo.
chess master.
Oh, no, disco. Not bingo, disco. Pulp Fiction, correct.
I do play chess, and I like chess, but I'm not very good.
Pulp Fiction, yeah. You, flock of seagulls, where's the case? Hanging Queen City, 100 centidues. Tgrass23 subscribed. Some of you guys don't like the things that I say on my stream, but as is well known, if you don't want to hear the truth, don't come to the park. Well, who said that?
I don't know.
Peter, Family Guy. Peter thought he had his powers. He could read the future and all that. Mm-hmm. So this woman in the park who's just walking by, and he says all this stuff, and it's like not good, right? And she like starts crying, and he says, "If you don't want to know the truth, don't come to the park." What happened to Tony Rocky Horror? Well, he threw him out of a 4-story window. There was a glass ceiling, fell through that, and now he's developed sort of a speech impediment. Now, I wouldn't call, his name's Tony Rockamora, but they call him Tony Rocky Horror. I wouldn't call him fat. You know why I wouldn't call him fat? Yeah. He's Samoan. What is he going to do?
What?
He's Samoan. Pulp Fiction. Yeah. Now,
That's hustlers.
now here's for several $1 trillion. According to the guys, why did Ving Rhames, what's his character? Ving Rhames. Somebody say his name. Yeah, Wallace, Marcellus Wallace.
Okay.
So the guys think that Marcellus Wallace threw Tony out of the window for one reason, and Uma Thurman cleared that up. So you know what the reasons were?
No.
So according to the guys, he gave her a foot massage. Okay? And Marcellus Wallace didn't like that. And then they were having a discussion, John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson, about what it means to give a woman a foot massage if she's not your woman. And he's like, foot massage don't mean shit. And then John Travolta said, it's not like putting your tongue in the holiest of holies, but it's the same ballpark. He said, the same ballpark? He says, that's not even the same sport. I give my mom a foot massage. Then John Travolta says, would you give me a foot massage? I'm sort of tired. I could use a foot massage. And then Sam Jackson says, fuck you. Anyway, so then when he asked Uma Thurman about it, he says, he didn't give me a foot massage. The only time he ever touched me was he shook my hand at our wedding. He says, why he threw him out the window, only he and Tony know. So there you go. Jackie Brown. Jackie Brown has one of my favorite actors, R.I.P. He's the guy who married us.
Oh, yeah.
That guy. Sid Haig. A lot of people don't like Jackie Brown.
Yeah, I never.
Yeah, it has Robert De Niro. It has Michael Keaton. Yeah. Sid Haig. Chris Tucker. Samuel L. Jackson. I forgot who the woman is. Some really famous woman I just don't remember. Michelle Pfeiffer? Or did I make that up? I probably made it up. And then the Robert what? He died recently. Robert, I want to say it starts with an F. He was the guy in Breaking Bad who ran the vacuum cleaner store, and then he's the guy who hit everybody at the end, like gave them new lives. Robert Forrester? Pam Grier, that's right. Chris Tucker is in it. Robert Forrester, I was right. Okay, now, I'll tell you the scene that Chris Tucker's in. In the middle of the movie, Sam Jackson says, we're going to go take care of these guys to Chris Tucker. And he says, I want you to hide in the trunk. And Chris Tucker's like, why do you want me to hide in the trunk? He says, then when I open the trunk, you're going to start blasting. We're going to surprise him. And he says, okay, but I don't want to be in the trunk. And they discuss it for like 5 minutes. He's like, all right. He gets to the trunk. Sam Jackson shoots him, closes the trunk, and then leaves the car somewhere. He just didn't want to like shoot him and pick him up. Right. Now, my mom doesn't remember this, but I do. My mom said that was her favorite part of the movie because she didn't have to hear Chris Tucker's annoying voice anymore. And she's like, I said that? I'm like, yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah. Go, Jack. Yeah, Pam Grier. And also, they talk about Pam Grier in Reservoir Dogs, if you remember. You're under arrest, sugar. Remember Reservoir Dogs? Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, my wife.
I don't know if I want to see it. It sounds, It sounds too violent for me.
Reservoir Dogs? Yeah. But the violence is stylized and it's off camera. Right?
I don't know.
And if you don't see it, at some point, I'm going to give you an earful. Oh, snap.
I actually saw the first part.
Did you get the earful joke?
Yeah.
Yay.
But I haven't seen the whole thing. I've seen the ear scene. I don't know if I want to see
Based on a true... Everything's based on a true story. It's all made up.
It's not my thing.
By the way, The Fifth Element I thought was just terrible, and it has like my favorite actor in it. Yeah, go Pam Grier. An ear would beg to differ. Now, whose favorite movie is Reservoir Dogs? What famous person said that's their favorite movie? Also, this is a joke.
I don't know.
Mike Tyson. Oh, snap. Go Chud. All right, we streamed enough. It's 11:11. That's lucky. I guess I'm going to raid 1. Sounds like a good idea. Yeah?
Yeah. I think 1 or 3.
I thought 1 or 3 too, and then I decided on 1.
Yeah.
Because GM's got to be like that, son. GM. Close enough.
Bye, everybody.
All right, see you guys tomorrow. Am I teaching class tomorrow? I don't even know.
I was just going to wait and see if you had the energy.
Oh, I mean, there's no sponsor. Just I'll teach it our way.
Right,
Yeah, I'll teach you class.
Okay, bye.
420. Thanks, Welch's Grape Juice. Let's think of a topic. Oh, yeah, and also at the tournament,